Early Head Start is an exciting and fun early childhood program that is done out of your home. So you will get an educator, and she will come and do a 90-minute visit in your home every single week. We service families whom either have a pregnant woman or have a child age birth through 3 years old. We follow a play-based curriculum, so the focus really is on learning through play and learning through what you're already doing every day. And we are working with the families in partnership to recognize during everyday play how we can make things more intentional and more goal-focused. We Early Head Start will do developmental assessments on the children and make sure that all the children are hitting all their developmental milestones. And if for some reason kiddo is not quite where you as the parent would like to see them, we can always do referrals to work with outside agencies to bring more help in. On that note, we do school readiness goals. You as the parent and us in partnership will make a goal for the kiddo on what we would like to see them doing, and what we would want the focus to be on for this next little section of time, so that we can bring activities to work on that goal, and then you can work throughout the week on that specific goal. We do family goals with the families to see what we can do to support you as a family to grow, because we all need to work on something, right? So families could, if they wanted to set their goal as going back to school to get their GED or buying a car or home buying, we can support you in trying to grow in your own goals, in your family goals. But realistically, our first job is to remind parents that you are the first and most important teacher in your children's lives. So anything that we can do to support you, to support them, is the goal. We bring support in anything that you would like to work on. Obviously, we will, if that is like hooking you up with local resources, there's so many different local resources that help families with little ones that a lot of people just don't know about, or don't know what they have going on, or what kind of funding they have available. So that's something that we can help the family with, is just to try to hook them up with resources or different things in the community that could just be fun to do. Another thing that we do is parent meetings and play groups. We really want the kiddos to be able to interact and play and learn from each other, as well as the families. We want the families to come together and have somebody that's in the same boat as them, that they can share their concerns, their ideas, because what better resource to have than another parent who's in the same situation as you. Those play groups 2 times a month. We either have them in the classroom, or we have them at a park or somewhere fun. So I guess that's just basically a snapshot of what Early Head Start is.
I would add to what Jessica said, because she said it really great, encompassed what we do at Early Head Start. But I would say another thing, like to add on to what Jessica said, is as family service workers in the Midland County community, we're kind of keeping, like Jess said, our ear to the ground for those resources and other things, just to be the support to all the families that we work with. And so, because like Jessica was saying, a lot of times there's the services out there, but people won't know about them. And so we make connections with different community partners. And so we're able to help the families connect with those resources. So that's something that's really beneficial through Early Head Start that we do. And I would say the parent support, last year, Jessica and I were kind of looking, just kind of surveying, trying to put our ear to the ground to the community and what parents really want, what they're really looking for. And one of the things that they really said to us was parent support, other parents going through what I'm going through, and just needing that sense of community, right? Because I think that's one of the things that through the pandemic that was taken from us, our sense of community, because we couldn't get together. And hopefully now we're moving more towards back towards out into the communities. And people are just hungry for that. They want to be around other people, other parents. They want the support of other families going through raising kiddos, right? And being pregnant, and hey, I've got this craving or this, do you got this craving or this? Or just kind of, like, this is what I'm doing for my infant that's not sleeping. What are you doing? Or this is how I'm kind of handling potty training. What are you doing? There's a sense of togetherness and just helping each other that other parents can give to other parents. So we offer that, like Jess said, in our play groups, in our socializations. And then another thing that Jessica and I have been doing is just community-wide play groups that we've been doing. Our parent meetings and our socializations are offered for our in-program families, or if you're on our waiting list. But to the general Midland community, coming up this summer, once a month, we're offering those developmentally appropriate community playgroups. So that's something. So one of the things that Jessica brought up was pregnant moms and what we can do for pregnant women or families with a pregnant person in their family, right? So we offer pre and postpartum support. As we were talking, again, we offer connections to local resources. One of the things that comes to mind automatically is Labor of Love. We've worked with them. Jessica and I hosted the Midland County Baby Shower, and one of our community partners was Labor of Love, and they offer a free no-cost doula, so non-medical doula, like a support service for pregnant moms. And I mean, that's one connection, but there are many other connections that we can offer pregnant mamas or pregnant families. We also have different services. We have Happiest Baby on the Block, which is like how to calm a colicky baby, and infant massage, childbirth education, baby wearing. We have a curriculum called Prepared Parenting. Did I get that right, Jess? Prepared Parenting. And we kind of work through that. And honestly, we just want to help our moms and our dads and our families just be as most as you can be prepared for the birth of your child. There's always going to be those monkey wrenches and different things, because I know as a mom that's had 2 kiddos, you have an idea of your birth plan and you have a goal and a plan, but your body, nature, and just life ends up sometimes throwing a monkey wrench. But you have a plan, right? And you have a goal, and to have a healthy delivery. And so yeah, that's kind of what we do with our pregnant moms and our families with a pregnant woman and Early Head Start. So kind of moving on, what if Early Head Start, if one of our home, we call them educators, or home visitors, were to come into your home, what would that look like? So every week, for, like Jessica was saying, for 90 minutes, we'd come in and we'd check in with the family. We'd check in with our pregnant mom. We check in with the kiddo. How's it going? How's your week been? What's going on in your family? Just check in, because we hope to be that good support for your family. Of course, with the kiddos, we have a play-based curriculum. So painting, playing with toys, reading, playing outside. As Jessica was talking about, one of the things that our program offers is we offer goal setting. Like, every family has a family goal. Actually, there's a couple things, like what you would like to see, or your hopes or your wishes overall in the Head Start program for your time in Head Start. But then as a family, what would you like? And as Jessica was saying, every family has a different goal. There's something that your family in particular is like wanting to hone in on, wanting to kind of work at. And it varies from family to family. And then we also will plan together next week's activities, because like Jessica was saying, our motto is parents as first and best teachers. So we're there to help support, facilitate, but you are your child's first and best teacher. And because we realize that, we want you integral in the planning process. You are there and you're like, okay, I noticed they really like balls. And so we're like, okay, do you have some balls at your house? We have some balls. We'll bring in some balls. We'll do some throwing balls, some rolling balls. We'll do whatever's developmentally appropriate for that kiddo at that age. And then one of the things I will say is we have our structure, right? We have our plan, but every home visit is going to look, no one home visit is going to look the same as another home visit, because every kiddo is different. Every family is different. Just like your goals are going to be different for every family, and your home visit's going to be different. Now, can you expect us to come and like we said, that format is going to be there? Absolutely, every time. But what we do in the home visit will vary from family to family. So, and then I think, so how do you sign up, or who qualifies? So our program is federally funded, so it is an income-based program. Now there are a couple of things that are automatic qualifiers. So if you receive SNAP, which is the bridge card, so you receive food assistance. If you, or TANF, if you receive SSI, or if you're homeless, or if the child is in foster care. Those things are automatic qualifiers for our program. So meaning you kind of give us proof of those things, or we work with you to get that proof, but you don't have to turn in 12 months of income for that. And then we know that this part, sometimes families have shared with us, they may be frustrated to do that, or it might be a challenge. But one of the things I know for myself and Jessica, and all of us with our agency that work in the family service department, we're extremely patient. We are your biggest cheerleader. We want to be there to help you, and we will, problem solve and try to figure out how we can help you get that income and to get it turned in. And so it can be frustrating, but we're there with you every step of the way, and trying to make the process as easy and as possible. So, and then I think Jessica's going to talk about that application process and what that would look like.
So if you are interested, which I highly recommend, then you can get on, I don't know if you can see it or if I'm blocking it, this website, mybabyandus.com, or go to mmcaa.org/EHS, or call this phone number, and you can fill out your interest form with a little bit of information about you, about your child, your pregnancy, birth dates, due dates, those kind of things, a little bit of income information. And then her name is Paris. She will call you and set up a time for your local family service worker, which in Midland County is myself or Kelly. We'll come to your house, we'll meet up with you, we go through the application together, and then we will collect your income information. And like Kelly was saying, if it's one of those automatic qualifiers, we'll figure out how to get some sort of documentation, some sort of proof from you that we can turn in. Otherwise, we'll get your income, we'll get your application. There's a couple other documentation things that we need. And then we turn that in to get approval. Once that approval is finished and they are satisfied with all the documentation that we have everything that we need, you will either get put on the wait list or be ready to be enrolled. Once we have the go-ahead that you're ready to be enrolled, your family service worker or your home educator will call you and set up an appointment, and we'll come out and work on the enrollment paperwork, which I always say this, we just got to get through all this yucky paperwork stuff at the beginning. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of paperwork and a lot of signing things, but then the fun happens after that. So you just got to hang in there through the enrollment process. But we'll come out to your house, we'll do the enrollment paperwork, and then your home educator will take it from there, and you can schedule your weekly home visits. Another thing I wanted to bring up too, as far as getting information about Early Head Start or what we're up to, or just getting some educational information. Midland County, well, actually every county has an Early Head Start Facebook page, Midland County Early Head Start. So that's another way. Also, you can message us if you're interested in the program. That's another way to contact us. If you are put on the wait list for whatever reason, you could still come to our play groups, and you can still be up to date on what's happening in our newsletters and things until it's time for your turn.